The great Indian physicist Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman, popularly known as C.V. Raman, was born on 7th November 1888 at Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. His father was a physics teacher, and so it was natural that Raman developed love for this subject. He was a brilliant student from the very beginning. As a brilliant and promising lad, he passed his matriculation examination at the young age of 12 from Madras University. His parents wanted to send him England for higher studies, but his poor health did not allow it. He studied at Hindu College Vazhakulam and Presidency College Madras. He obtained his post-graduation degree in physics in 1907 with the top position. During his student period, he conducted many researches and published his papers in many reputed magazines. Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman, the same year, that is 1907, got the first position in Financial Service Examination and was approved as the Assistant Accountant General in Calcutta. There he came in contact with an eminent scientist named Dr. Amritlal Sarkar, who was the secretary of the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. This contact with Dr. Sarkar proved a turning point in the life of this young scientist. His interest in physics was deep and lasting, and so he continued his research work in his spare time in the laboratory of the association. He published his research results in the leading journals of Calcutta, now Kolkata, which were in regard to the subject of propagation of light. These original research papers were of great scientific significance. When this came to the notice of the then Vice Chancellor of Kolkata University, Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee, he appointed him as the Professor of Physics in the university. During his stay at the university, he continued his research with much more devotion and won immense honor and recognition as a physicist. He was elected as the Fellow of the Royal Society of London in 1924. He discovered the Raman effect in 1928. For it, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930. He became the first Indian to win this prestigious honor. With this, his reputation increased by leaps and bounds, and many universities and institutions of repute honored him with PhD and DCSC degrees. In December 1927, he was busy in laboratory when the news came that the well-known physicist A.M. Compton was awarded the Nobel Prize for demonstrating that the nature of X-rays undergoes a change when passed through a matter. This effect came to be known as the Compton effect. Encouraged by this discovery, Raman continued his experiments and ultimately proved that light rays can also be scattered. His discovery enabled for the first time the mapping of possible levels of energy gains of molecules and atoms of a substance and thus discovered their molecule and atomic structure. This discovery of the scattering of light led to the development of a simple alternative to infrared spectroscopy, namely Raman spectroscopy. Raman effect happens when the molecules of a medium scatter light energy particles known as photons. The spectrum varies with the nature of the transparent medium used to scatter the light. Raman effect has proved to be of great scientific value, and with its help, the structure of more than 200 components has been known. He also gave us the scientific explanation for the blue color of the sky and the ocean. He explained that the blue color of the ocean was a result of the scattering of sunlight by the molecules of water. He traveled widely abroad delivering lectures about his discoveries and researches. In 1933, he became the director of the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. In 1943, he founded the Raman Research Institute at Bangalore. He was knighted in 1927. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna in 1954 and the International Lenin Prize in 1957. Raman was a born genius and a self-made man and scientist with deep religious convictions. His interests were wide and deep, and so were his contributions to the human knowledge and development. Besides optics, he was deeply interested in acoustics, the science and study of sound. His contributions to the mechanical theory of bowed, stringed, and other musical instruments like violin, sitar, cello, piano, veena, tambura, and mridangam have been very significant. He explained in detail how these musical instruments produce harmonious tones and sounds. He died in November 21, 1970, at the ripe age of 82 at Bangalore, and his mortal remains were consigned to flames in the campus of Raman Institute